What? It's the Borg? How is it always the Borg? There goes the Pa-Wraith theory, just poof, and we're once again dealing with the Borg in the craziest partnership. Because did the changelings not notice the Borg are also solid? Or is it the great link/collective togetherness they believe puts them on even ground? Whatever the deal, apparently Starfleet is well and proper screwed. And all this because Picard's time as Locutus gave way to what essentially amounts to a computer virus being grafted to DNA, transferring it into an organic virus, or some such sci-fi explanation.
I'm not going near that fakakta thing. I'll catch a computer virus.
You can't catch a computer virus.
Au contraire, mon frere. Hi, and welcome back to Katie's Corner in Space and this week's Standout Scenes for Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 9, Vox. A shocking next generation in Borg. Because that's how Jack is able to control everyone, too. It's the change in Picard's genetic code. That's what got passed down to Jack, and the revelation Jack's gifts are because he's a fracking transmitter, or voice of the Borg, is getting my first standout scenes because just damn, that is not the answer I was expecting. Him either, I guess, because after being in the dark about what's been going on with himself for so long, Jack just lets that voice take over and he heads off to be assimilated, which is, out of all of the bad choices a kid can make, right up there at the top. But it's not like that was even the craziest part of the episode. Now, I'm going to skip around here a bit because when it comes to those really amazing moments that make the story, this one is mostly because it's going to be vital to next week and because nostalgia is addictive this season, and that is the appearance of Geordi's surprise, the Enterprise D. By this point in the episode, I had already been an emotional mess, but to see her again, to see the crew back on the bridge, and Picard admit what he'd missed most.
The carpet.
It was really a perfect moment. Just incredible, and honestly, I probably should make it an honorable mention, but this is my channel, and so I'm putting it here. And the third, but arguably the biggest, holy crap, I can't believe this is actually happening moment for the episode is the 20-something takeover. I mean, we kinda knew it was coming, maybe not the complete assimilation of the fleet in a matter of seconds by the Borg, but the previous 8 episodes were leading to this mysterious weapon being deployed. We just didn't know it had already been implemented.
To all the stations that a changeling can infiltrate, why transporter tech?
I don't know. I've never encountered one before.
Watching Seven fight this message from the Borg, it was a nice touch. I appreciated it, but once again, we see crew members we've been getting to know suddenly in peril. And I'm still mad about the loss of Tavine, so all I can say is Picard better be right, and they better get them back.
We have time.
And if you've made it this far, thanks so much for joining us as I try to pick out the scenes that made the episode. Hit that like button if you like what you hear, and hit that subscribe button below as well. And new to the channel, if you come back regularly, consider that join button too. There are some perks including life updates and priority responses to comments. Okay, enough of that. Of course, there were some really amazing moments that maybe didn't push the story along, but were amazing additions as far as character development, or just really well done. And in those cases, I like to give an honorable mention. This week is no different, and because I demanded it happen last week and only had to wait until this week, I'm gonna start with Shaw calling Seven.
You have the con. 709.
I hate he had to be shot for this to occur, just when I was starting to like him. However, for everyone who's been rallying around a spin-off with Captain 7, it looks like a step was taken in that direction. I honestly wasn't picky about her being captain right away. Following Commander 7 as she gained her captaincy would have been fine by me. But I suppose that's what we've been doing this season. My second honorable mention is going to be the look of the Borg ship from the inside. Now, taking into account the obviously different look the newer shows have, I'm gonna say the Borg are having a really rough time. That was a lot of what looked like cluttered wiring. Not at all what I'd expect from a species attempting perfection. Any nerd worth their salt knows you police your cords. not seeing the board for a decade, other than Agnes and her collective, of course, along with the meager showing of drones on the seemingly ill-kept cube Jack entered, may be just some of the indicators of how weak the Borg have become, it seems, which would also explain why they were willing to work with the changelings. A species they apparently had not met as of 30 years ago, as Seven had no knowledge of them before this whole mess started. So at this time, I'd like to recommend someone call Agnes. Perhaps she could talk some sense into whomever this Borg queen may be. Except the showrunners said we wouldn't be seeing that queen. She kinda sounds like our first contact queen, Alice Krieg, in my opinion. But I couldn't confirm my suspicions, especially since that queen came to a rather messy end some time ago. And I'm throwing in a third honorable mention. This one leads us up to the takeover, but I loved Admiral Shelby's speech aboard the Enterprise F as the opening ceremonies of Frontier Day began. I'm a huge fan of Enterprise, the series, and her words gave the crew the credit they deserved. Plus, we got to see the newest iteration of 1701 as promised. And yes, I teared up here when the ship made its pass. The entire scene was really well done and so worth a mention. And now for a rare complaint, and this is going to be the continued updates and explanations for Jack, Picard's permanent encoded Borg changes, the assimilations through the transporters. At each stage, the crew seemed to have somehow discovered exactly the right information at exactly the right time. I mean, there's hanging a lantern, meaning to provide an explanation through storytelling, according to Stargate.
Is that not too convenient?
Not if you hang a lantern on it. What's that? It's a writer's term. Another character points out how convenient it is.
New genetic code was actually written and stored inside you, something we were never able to detect 35 years ago.
And then there's lighting flares every few minutes. It was incredibly convenient or inconvenient timing, and that just bugged me. But don't get me wrong, overall, this was a great episode, once again hurling me on the edge of my seat and grabbing for tissues. I was either freaked out or ugly crying from moment to moment. Hell, even Data missing his chair had me going. And now I'm back to asking one simple question, because most of the others all got answered, and that is, how do they get out of this one?
I hope we die quickly.
Jack is chilling with the Queen after assimilating all of Starfleet for all we know. The entirety of Starfleet is or is under the process of being assimilated or destroyed, including the LaForge ladies, making this all utterly personal. We really need to start saving this new generation, or Seven is going to be the captain of a ghost ship. The TNG crew's hearts are in the right place, but I don't think the Enterprise D can fix it alone. However, I would like to point out Starfleet may be the only one affected, and Earth has allies with their own fleets. This did come in handy on an episode of Prodigy, so here's to hoping in next week's finale, cooperation saves the day. Or maybe Data Plus will come up with a nifty piece of programming. Maybe Captain Seven will go Borg Queen again. That was nifty. Once again, whatever happens next, I'm here for it, and hope the twist will be as surprising as this new mashup is. And this new alliance of evil will need a name. The Borgling? Chorg? I don't know. Fluid Tech. Someone throw me a bad nickname below in the comments for this team up. And until next week, have a laugh at my sister and I as we attempt at this channel's first live Trek chat. Technically, it's a test and mostly we just babble, but any constructive criticism would be handy. We're planning to do a season review next week after the finale of Picard, so we thought we'd test out live and see how it works first. But if you want to catch up on more Trek, check out these videos and I'll see you there.